Travel, top of the key corner, driving with it, has a lane, left-handed layup, scoops it in for two. Timeout Dayton. Jim Jaber has seen enough. Corner, driving, baseline, gives off to Clark with the left hand, and it goes in. Great pass from McKay, pulls it up the floor. Trying to hand it off, ball loose and stolen by Rooney. Fordham's defense continues to dictate the tempo. Collins to Strickland, left block, off glass and in. For Fordham, Applewhite, turnaround jumper off the iron. Collins has the rebound. Here comes Ace from right to left, lobs it for Rooney, right wing, pull up, Trey, got it! Aaron Rooney in transition, gives Fordham the lead, timeout Dayton. 19-16 Rams, the Rose Hill Gym feeling good with 8:38 to go in the first half. Here the first half. Rooney floats it up for Corning, trying to break through the defense. Collins, bounce pass for Clark. Top of the key, Strickland. Now Rooney, left wing three, it's up and it's in. Aaron Rooney showing off the stroke from distance.
Couple threes, not afraid to take it right there.
Dean looking for Sant, stolen away by Strickland. Fordham with numbers. Rooney up the floor with the left hand, and Fordham's on top. 27-25. Clock down to 10. Here comes Collins over half court. Double team comes, stops her dribble, floats it for Strickland, lets it fly for three, and it sticks it. Big shot, Mara Strickland, and that's how we end the first half here at the Rose Hill Gym. Driving inside, and that one rolls out of the rim. It was Sant who got it, and the rebound goes to Rooney. Up the floor, Collins. Right corner, Strickland puts up a three and sticks it. Nearly lost it. Free throw line, Sant puts up the shot, way off the mark. Rooney able to get the rebound. She'll push it. Here comes Fordham. Strickland, 4-3, got it! Mara Strickland cuts it to 7. 54-47, we got ourselves a ball game here in the Bronx. Coach Jaber is gonna let him play. Right corner, it's Hoover. She'll try to respond with a three. Off the heel, and Strickland has it. Here comes Fordham. Collins with the ball in her grasp. Hands it off for Strickland. In fuego right now. Strickland pulls up just inside the line. Count it! Mara Strickland feeling it here in the second half. 54-49. Timeout Dayton. Whoa, baby! 15 to shoot. Rooney down to the floor. Gets it to Corning. Now Collins open for a right wing three and hits. Ace Collins, a big triple right there. 58-52. The lead down to 6 for Dayton. Sox. Here's Hoover, gets it for Applewhite. Left wing, Wilson, left open, it's up and good. Three-pointer there for Brittany Wilson.
Yeah, Dayton's a very good team, very well balanced, very well coached, a lot of depth, and I think their depth is really, at the end, really worse now.
Questions for the student athletes?
For both of you guys, I mean, this program in Fordham has not had much success at all recently. And despite the loss today, it's been a tremendous turnaround for the program. Today you're down 17, I think Mari scored 10 of 12 to make it back into a tight game. Just talk about the season as a whole, and in this game, I mean, it was a loss, but still a really good effort against a pretty strong opponent.
We've really been working defensively and just trying to stay focused and stay together as a team. We're feeling very positive, and we feel like if we keep working hard and we stay together, the sky's the limit for this Fordham women's basketball team.
Aaron said, you guys both transferred in here, so you don't really know about the history per se. You weren't part of it, but you're both part of successful programs in the past. Just what it means to sort of get this program back on the positive side of things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, sorry about that.
No problem.
Like you just said, like it was a good game, but it was still a loss, and I think that's something, like as players now, like we don't really accept that loss. That's not like what we want to be as a program. I mean, it was a well-fought game, and they're a very good team, but I mean, we expect more of ourselves, and we expect to be in those games and win those games. So it's great to be a part of, to be turning this around, making history. Pretty much every game, like it's something different that we can make history, and it's fun to be a part of. But we've got to do that until the end of the season when the tournament comes around.
You guys are ranked 5th in the Atlantic 10 right now. What do you need to do to stay in the top 5 as we move closer to the tournament at the end of the regular season?
I just think we need to stay consistent. I mean, our philosophy is pretty much suffer, celebrate to midnight, and move on. I told the kids I thought it was a hard-fought game. I thought we left it out there, and it's evidenced, by our numbers. We were really limited with our bench with some injuries going on right now. down. If you look at their bench, they had 34 points off their bench, we had 0. It's a big difference right there. And so for us, I think we just need to be, from a coach's standpoint, we just need to be smart, as far as we hit the stretch. And, we can't make one game too big. This was a great game, an exciting game, because with, Charlotte beating St. Joe's, it was for a piece of first place. So from our standpoint, what we need to do is we have to realize GW is our next Dayton game. And we have to look at it like that. And every game remaining puts us in the best position possible to try to get, get by.
Anything else for the student athletes?
I have a question for Coach Gately. How does tonight's game versus Dayton compare? This is your second year coaching here. How does tonight's game compare to last year's game versus Dayton, where you guys there was a much bigger margin of victory?
That's a good question. I think with our kids, like we talked about it today earlier, it starts with believing you can win. And in our first loss to Duquesne, I think what hurt us is we got out of the gate so slow that I said to the kids, you need to put doubt in the opponent, so you need to come out strong right from the beginning. And I think that happened. I think that's evidence in the first half. We just hung around. I think their depth started to wear us down a little bit in the second half. But I think for us, it starts with, first of all, believing that you can win. And because I remember when I was at LIU, we played Dayton at home and we got our butts kicked. And then the following year, we had a couple new players and we went and beat them at Dayton. And so it was a situation where, when you get some players, it does help you. And I think the returning kids, like I thought Ace Collins had a great game today, and I think she responded very, very well. And then, as evidence, these guys did a lot of scoring, but Ace had 6 steals. So the kids from last year bought in, and the new kids just gives you some extra, depth and talent to try to get you over the hump.
Can you just talk about that for a second? Just how the confidence, you came in and just down 17 and you fought back to get it back to a 2-possession game, basically. How maybe that carries over, that you've been in successful programs and there isn't that, okay, we're down 17 games over mentality anymore here.
Well, in practice every day, we go against guys, and sometimes we find ourselves in that same situation. We're dug ourselves a hole, and we're just not going to be quitters. We just come back every day when we play against them and try and win the game. We're not going to back down. We're not going to go out there and be down 17 and think the game's over. There's still minutes left on the clock, and we're going to play our hardest until that clock runs out.
Exactly. I think we've been doing a very good job this year of really staying together as a team, not looking at the scoreboard, but focusing on our defense and realizing that as long as we're giving it our all on defense, we'll be able to, the offense will come.
I think that's the biggest difference from last year. Last year, I think when we got in holes, it's like we forgot that what got us there. So this year, it's totally different in timeouts now. Last year, there used to be a little bit of fear, and there used to be a little bit of can we do this? And I don't see any of that with this team. We won, it was a 17-point game. There was no doubt. We just kept talking about it. We use our median timeouts as our kind of our barometer, and we just said, all right, cut it to 12, cut it to 8. And we made that run so quickly with Mara hitting those shots, we actually cut it quicker than we had anticipated. We knew we were right there for it to be taking. It just, you have to play a little conservative with Abigail and Aaron having 4 fouls, because you have to think a little bit more. And you have to, I had to make some changes defensively because of it. So I think once we get a couple of our players back from injuries, and I think that definitely make a difference.
Coach, can you talk about, I know it's the middle of the season, but there's so many firsts already and so much success. Didn't take a second just to think about it, this team is back to somewhere it hasn't been in 20 years or 30 years?
I thought about that. That's a good question, because I thought about it the other day, and I don't want to just enjoy it too much early, because there's so much left to do. So the second that I enjoy it and say, hey, great job, is the second they might get complacent. So I just challenge them differently every day. So as soon as we talked about it, I said, all right, Dayton, we suffered to midnight, we got a really good GW game. So for us, it doesn't really matter who's on the jersey, it just stands for our position in the conference. So for I will, but I think that I'll put this aside until we do it, because I think the second that I let that seep in is the second that we might lose sight of what the next challenge is.
Question for Aaron. Coach Gately mentioned you picked up 4 fouls with something like 13, 14 minutes left to play in the game. How did that affect the way you played the game from then on, and if so, how?
Yeah, I think so. When I get in foul trouble, I feel like I kind of let the girls down a little bit on defense. I can't be as aggressive as I want to be, and that definitely played a part. I think I pretty much gave one girl a layup at some point just because I didn't want to foul her. So yeah, held me back a little bit, especially on defense.
Tell you anything else?
No, I'm in good shape.
Anything else? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So note,